Hey guys.
Hi.
Everything
Hello.
right? Okay, so we're going to start in just a minute. We'll wait for some more people to show up. So this is week number 2 of our continuing education series. If it's week number 1 and you want to get your credit, then make sure you get on the website. If you don't have it, let me know so you can get on that website. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody right now, but when you want to talk, please unmute yourself. This is not meant to be something where you don't get to say anything. You get to ask questions anytime you want. So feel free to, to go ahead and unmute yourself and talk whenever you need to. Okay. And remember, at the end of this 8-week series, you'll get a certificate because you'll be an essential oil expert. An expert is those people who have learned various things about using our essential oils, our products. So you will be expert status when you're all done with these classes. So hopefully this will be a really good one. This is one that's very near and dear to me because this is what I credit with changing my life tremendously. It was really the nutrition and the supplements. The oils are awesome. I love them. But that isn't what changed my life. It's the vitamins, it's the supplements that changed my life. So I'll go ahead and start because we are at starting time. So let me go ahead and get started here. I should have everything already. Okay, so again, I'm Ginny. If you don't know me already, I've been with doTERRA for 6 years. And I changed my life a long time ago with their supplements. I enjoy the oils and I absolutely love teaching. I want everybody to understand these so that they can have the option on whether they want to choose this method to use throughout their life. I have been eating organic foods and living an organic lifestyle with organic bedding and mattresses, pillows, and natural surroundings around me. I don't have you can tell my house is set up so that I have just basically, it's pretty sparse with all wood furniture. I try to have not synthetics in my environment. So everything I have around me, things I wear, even I wear a lot of cotton and natural blends because that's just me. I've been natural for a long time, and even being all natural, I still suffered the same things that we all suffer because the world is an imperfect place. So we're going to find out what can we do about that and how can we teach others, because some of you guys are also in doTERRA and you want to know, how do I teach other people about this? How do I explain the doTERRA products to somebody who knows nothing about them or doesn't understand nutrition at all, right? So where do we start? Okay, so we want to talk about survival versus vitality. Okay, so are we surviving or are we full of vitality? And what would your life be like if you felt better? So you can fix things with our supplements that you didn't know could be fixed. So the Lifelong Vitality Pack is, of course, the key supplement we're going to talk about today, was designed by doTERRA to help the body achieve homeostasis, which is what the body needs to heal itself, because your body wants to heal. And you can take pills now, right? You can take some pills, you can take vitamins, or take them later. Those are probably your prescriptions, right? So it's a matter of if you want to be preventative or if you want to just react. So we talk about nutrition and supplements, and we wonder, why are people around us so sick? And you look at some of our diets. If we're eating burgers and taking pills, probably not the best way to be, right? So do you think what we need for good food, do we get what we need for good health from our food? That is our question. So that is an important thing, because if we can't get it from our food, we have to get it somewhere, right? So think about what you're eating, and that's a good basic part of anybody's plan, is to try to eat the right foods. But we're all imperfect, and everybody wants to enjoy some of the bad foods sometimes. And we live in a society where things have really changed. So eating right is half of the battle, right? We got nutrient content of the modern food sources, which is down. We all know this. I mean, how many of you have heard the stories? An apple today is not the same as an apple 50 years ago, an orange, whatever. Our soil is depleted, and we're missing a lot of key nutrients that we used to get. And our food used to be a lot better for us. We still need food, but we're not getting the nutrition we need out of that food. And it gets harder the less calories you consume. So if you're on a diet, which a lot of us are, if you're getting older, which I certainly am, and if you're less active, more sedentary, which most of our population is, right? Then you are consuming less food to maintain a healthy weight, and you're not getting nutrients. So you have to do what we call supplementation. This isn't in place of food. This is to supplement what nature is providing for us. And only 14% of the country is really eating the recommended amount of veggies. That's a hard one, because we've all seen the pyramid. We know we're supposed to be eating our veggies, but first of all, how many of you guys want to eat veggies for breakfast? It's not on my list. Veggies for breakfast doesn't even sound good to me. And then, you get to lunchtime and hopefully you've had a little vegetable in between, but probably not. Most of the time, by the time I'm getting out my lunch, I probably haven't eaten a vegetable yet. And at lunchtime, I may or may not have a vegetable. If I have a salad, then I might get a little bit of veggies. Maybe not the best quality veggies, but at least I had a little bit, right? And maybe you'll get a vegetable along with dinner, but that's still really not enough to get all the base nutrients that are available in all the different vegetables. And how many of you can count on one hand the vegetables you regularly eat? Carefully. A lot of us are like that. We don't eat a lot of different vegetables, right? So we're missing a lot of key nutrients. So the result of this is that our stress levels are higher than they've ever been. Our exposure to the environmental toxins is up because of all the food and the lack of food quality, right? And 40% of Americans are getting less than the recommended amount of sleep on top of that. And when I talk about Americans, I'm talking about North America. We're Canada, US, probably even a good portion of Mexico. And in 2012, only 8% of the US population was using mindfulness or meditation to control their stress. And I would guess that it's probably pretty much close to worldwide. We're not doing that, right? And in recent polls, over half of the American public admits to not getting the recommended amount of movement in. How many of you guys think you get enough exercise each and every day? Exercise, movement, anybody think they get enough? That's even been a struggle with me, trying to fit in enough in my daily routine, right? It's a struggle because you have to work at it. You have to plan it into your day. So we have nutrition and we have supplements, and nutrition is our foundation, right? That's the basis of everything. That allows our body to function optimally. It gives us increased energy, increased mental clarity, and supports our cardiovascular health and proper inflammatory responses. So some of the things we have to remember when we're talking about health and we're talking about nutrition, we have to remember what our inflammatory foods are. So our inflammatory foods tend to be things like gluten, dairy, and sugar. Those are your most common ones. And then each of us personally has our own inflammatory foods. We're all very different. So whereas I might be able to eat some food and my friend can't eat that same food because in her, it's inflammatory. That is a very common condition. So you have to figure out what works for your body and knowing what those culprits are. So sometimes it's just because it's not organic. There are a few things that if you eat them organically, they're substantially different than if they're non-organic. Not everything. Some things are almost the same, whether they're organic or not organic, as far as what we take in as human beings, right? And remembering what inflammation does to the human body, it can be a really big problem. So one of the things I always try to remind people of is, like with my daughter, it's really obvious. If she consumes sugar, gluten or dairy, actually she's sensitive to all three. If she consumes any of those, she will break out. And you can see it all over her face, her back. It's horrible. It's an absolute horrible reaction. And it happens every time. So she has been forced really to take those things out of her diet. And I'm sure that's not fun. Nobody wants to give up some of those things. But we want that energy. We want the mental clarity. We want our bodies to be performing at its peak efficiency as much as possible. So how can we do that? What is the easiest way to do it? It's to take our supplements. So we like our Lifelong Vitality Pack because doTERRA figured out all the things that we were missing. And it wasn't just vitamins. We're missing some vitamins, we're missing some basic herbs that maybe we need to get a hold of, and we're missing our omega-3s. That's a very common situation for most of us in North America. And so they created this Lifelong Vitality Pack to supplement, fill in the holes of our standard diet. There are some vitamins you're not going to see on our vitamins that you're going to see on other vitamins, but they're not on doTERRA's because even if you lived at McDonald's and ate their food each and every day, you're still going to get that vitamin because there are certain vitamins we all get, right? So we don't need to put those in because everybody's getting them. Our Lifelong Vitality Pack is the nutritional equivalent of 12 servings of fruit and vegetables in every serving. And that's huge. We need those fruits and vegetables. These are made from whole food sources, and that means there's no fillers, just the food source. And these essential oils maximize support. The omegas are in a capsule, which preserves their potency longer. So if you've seen the omegas, they're in those small gel caps, which is also good for people who struggle with taking medications or pills, right? The other capsules are a little bit bigger. And if you notice, our other capsules, if you cannot swallow pills, those can be opened up. I have talked to a lot of adults who just really cannot swallow pills, or they may already be on so many pills that they still need to add more pills to their repertoire, right? Go ahead and open them up and put them in a liquid and take them that way. Put them in a spoonful of honey. You can take them that way as well. And then you want to figure out what time of day should you take them. So a lot of people like to break it up into 2 because you really are supposed to take 4 of each of those bottles each day is ideal for, let's say, an average 150-pound person. If you're smaller, you can take less. Reach out to me if you are in that weight range. I weigh just over 100 pounds, so I get to take 2 of each day, so that helps a lot. But if you're taking 4 of each day, try to break it up into 2 different times you take them. And I have noticed personally, and I know not all of you experience this, but I've noticed personally, I cannot take this too late in the day. If I take it after like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I have trouble sleeping. So it, because your body's doing stuff with it, I guess, and it keeps me up. So if you find that is the case with you, then try taking them earlier in the day. It's fine if you can take, if you can take half of them in the morning and then maybe half of them at lunch or something. And they do have the Tummy Tamer blend, which really helps taking them even on an empty stomach. The only time I've struggled with taking them is if I take them in the morning with nothing. I do need a little bit of food in the morning because my stomach is like super empty, right? I just slept all night, so it better be empty. Let me check my chat really quick to see what you guys are saying, see if I can answer any questions. Faith, it's really a vegan does not eat enough vegetables well. And then, so Bonnie, that makes sense. You're taking them earlier in the day. And that's pretty smart. I've noticed that when I take them too late, I definitely struggle. So why so many pills? Well, basically, it's simple. This is math, right? It's hard to pack that many nutrients into one pill. It's heat compressed. Then you would lose digestive enzymes and probiotics. So we don't do that. We just put them in the capsules, right? The loose pack difference is the brilliance behind the Lifelong Vitality's pack creation. It's really true healthcare, not sick care. And so you can take 12 capsules a day now, or maybe a handful of medications in a few years from now, right? And medications, those are synthetics, so they can be really tiny. But if you're using whole food sources, they're going to be pretty good size because they're food. Yeah. You don't make them so small. Then the Lifelong Vitality benefits. It's basically the foundation of a healthy lifestyle. This is what's going to change your life probably the most. So if you're using oils, great, and you're using for certain purposes, excellent. But think about using the Lifelong Vitality Pack first. Get started on that so you can really see the changes. You can really change your life. It has a high in antioxidants and DNA protection. We need to protect our DNA, right? Again, we're trying to protect things at that really base level. And we need the energy metabolism. Everybody wants bone health, of course. And it basically supports our immune system, the cardiovascular system, nervous system, digestive system, even our respiratory system. Really good for stress management, giving you healthy hair, skin, and nails. And this is something I have a personal experience with. So I'm going to tell you a little bit later about my major testimonial with Lifelong Vitality Pack and how it changed my life tremendously. But one of the things that happened after about 6, 7, 8 months of use was my hair started growing again. So now I've got hair that is way past my waist. This is all my natural hair. And my nails grew. I'd never had nails before because my nails just were brittle and they broke all the time. They really peeled off. So I bit them my whole life, right? Because they were garbage. And that's what I noticed. And it's weird because I already ate a healthy diet. I probably ate a good amount of vegetables, maybe not enough, but I did eat my vegetables. I ate good food. I had a smoothie in the morning. I was eating all organic for 3 decades, but this still changed my life. So it's really interesting. I don't know what I was missing, but whatever I was missing, it's in there. It supports a good liver function. Everybody knows why we need a good liver function, right? We have to detoxify our body somehow. And it's really gentle on the stomach. So most people don't struggle with it. And of course, if you are struggling with it, feel free to start with 1 of each first, and then go up to 2 of each, then 3 of each. Work it in slowly because sometimes our bodies do have to get used to that. I even have one girl that's having to start 1 pill at a time because she's struggling with a little bit of cramping from the pills. So it depends on you. You have to see how you do with it. It's non-GMO, it's gluten-free and dairy-free. And of course, there's a vegan version available if somebody is vegan. Now, I'm going to show her some testimonials, but first I want to talk a little bit about when you're taking medication. So, and other supplements. So let's say you take a supplement from some other companies, and this is a really big struggle we have, is we take these supplements and so many times we find out later that this supplement was not being absorbed by our body. So we've got some really expensive pee, basically, right? Probably even nice bright yellow if it's got the vitamin B in it, right? We've all been through that. So we don't want to do that. We want to absorb our nutrients. We want to absorb our vitamins. And the vitamins will help you absorb the nutrients you're taking in through your food. And the Lifelong Vitality Pack is a very, very absorbable version of actual vitamins. And we don't see that with a lot of companies. There are very few companies that have supplements that are that absorbable. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some testimonials that we've picked up here and there. This is, you can actually go, see those on this link if you'd like to. But if you want to read these, I'll read them really quick for you. So this person said, I never in the world thought vitamins would get me off my pain medication totally. I have not had to take any meds for 3 years. Thank you, LLV. So this person attributes her pain relief to the, change, just vitamins. Sometimes that's all it takes. Person says, LLV is wonderful. Less than 6 weeks after starting LLV, I stopped having migraines. I used to have occasionally 2 to 3 migraines per week, but now I only get migraines when I forget to take my LLV. So this person attributes, the better vitamin intake to getting rid of, again, another painful, irritating condition. My husband has been using oils and LLV to eliminate his need for rescue inhaler over the last 3 years, has previously needed it 4 to 7 times a day since he was 5 years old for asthma. Now he only uses a few drops of oil in his beard. It's almost all LLV. He hasn't used his albuterol inhaler in 3 full years. These are just wonderful when you hear about it. This person couldn't get out of bed, struggled with RA plus fibro, among other things, and I know exactly what that's like. Needed a wheelchair to get around, couldn't sit for long periods, let alone stand. After taking LLV, gained strength and so much relief that I am now able to walk. So it's huge. And it's just vitamins, guys. That's how simple this is. It could probably be done with food if we could figure it out, right? But we aren't figuring it out. And we haven't figured out what foods those are that'll be able to be consumed by us and get all the nutrients that we need without gaining weight, right? So we have to look for other solutions. This person also, a long-term high-level RN, trained aromatic medicine practitioner, married to a man who's a physician, trained at one of the best med schools in the world at the time, Tulane, with a specialty in genetics and metabolism. We could pick any supplement we want. He'll only take LLV, very selective with anything and everything medical. We feel confident that doTERRA has done their homework. As we say, doTERRA isn't an essential oil company. They are a wellness company with an emphasis on scientific research. That came from Sarah. So thank you for the testimonials. And then I'm going to look at my chat really quickly. So yeah, this is a funny one. Faith, yeah, I have to cut your nails every week because they get too long. And this is the only supplement that's not made me nauseous when I take them. Thank you, Faith. Yes, I noticed the same thing. My nails are growing. They're hard as a rock. They grow really fast. I'm having to cut them all the time, which actually drives me crazy. But it just, I don't need nails. There's no reason. I'm already married. I don't need nails anymore, right? I don't have to attract a guy. I got one. So I don't really need nails. I don't care if I have them or not. But it is an overall way to see good health. When you have good hair and good nails, it shows that you have good health because that's what your body does last. Hair and nails is the last thing your body is taking care of. It's taking care of your insides. It's taking care of everything else first. I can't see, it says off. Oh, I know who this is, even though it doesn't say it. It says from blank to everyone. I can't read it. But I know this is Bonnie because I know her. She's off 15 meds. She's lost 245 pounds. She has an amazing story, which she is sharing, I believe, next Wednesday, right? At the continuing education class on Stephanie's team. So if anybody wants to go see her story and hear her talk next week, I invite you to go there. Bonnie has had amazing results with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, as well as with other things in doTERRA, and we'd love to hear her story. So make sure you come to that if you have the ability to. This is another kind of testimonial with a visual, and this is your skin. Again, this is kind of the last thing your body takes care of. And our skin tells us a lot about how healthy we are. And this is a girl who didn't get the results she wanted with the oils. She tried the LLV at half dose for a few months, not much change, but then she tried to decide to take the full dose, and it cleared up. Scarring's improving. Notice her mood and anxiety is improving too. So this is awesome. This is, again, another story of what happens when you can get good nutrition. I don't need to read all of these. These are just testimonials. If you want to read them, feel free. It is amazing, though. I will tell you, though, my testimony. So I have my own testimony because I had fibromyalgia. And and I was diagnosed in my 20s. And I did really well when I was younger because I was an athlete. And so I consumed a lot of calories and I got rid of all the symptoms for many, many years. And then I had a car accident in my 40s, which laid me up for a while. So I wasn't exercising, of course, because I was laid up. And then the fibro symptoms came back, and they came back full force. So I was in pain. I was tired. I was getting headaches. I was in bed every single day. I had to spend at least 3 or 4 hours in bed. In the middle of the day, I had no energy at all. It was awful. I found doTERRA. I tried the oils. That wasn't doing it for me. It was just more topical, temporary relief of some symptoms. And then I finally was convinced, like Bonnie was, to take the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And when I took it, I noticed within a month, most of my symptoms were gone. It's absolutely amazing. And within 6 months, the rest of the symptoms were gone. Now I do not miss taking it. I mean, I have missed a day here and there, and I know really quickly if I forget to take it. So I absolutely adore the Lifelong Vitality Pack and what it has done for me, and I hope everybody tries it. Now, Dr. Josh Axe did a wonderful video. You have to remember who this guy is. He's actually technically a doTERRA competitor. He sells essential oils. And he did his own video talking about how absolutely phenomenal the Lifelong Vitality Pack with doTERRA, his competitor, is. And he talks in detail about each of its ingredients and what it does for the human body. So if you get a chance to see that video, absolutely amazing. I highly recommend that. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the other supplements that doTERRA has, because sometimes you need a little bit more than just the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So some people are dealing with maybe some gut issues, right? So if gut issues is your problem, then you want to get your basic support with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, but you might need to add something. Terrazyme is one supplement that a lot of people like to add. It does not contain any of the 8 major allergens. And let me explain that a little bit, because when you read the bottle, it's going to look a little bit different than this. So because doTERRA is striving to follow all the regulatory requirements when labeling its products, at times because of changing regulations, doTERRA will update a label to meet those new requirements. Now the FDA is requiring a declaration of any of the 8 major allergens that are used in a fermentation process to make enzymes for supplements. Minor changes have had to be made to the Terrazyme label. And some people on my team noticed this, of course. The regulation applies to all supplements sold in the US. I'm not sure what they are in Canada, because Canada also has Terrazyme now, so I'm not sure what their label reads. But because of this, soy and wheat are used in the fermentation process to make some of the enzymes in the product, so they have to declare that it contains soy and wheat in the ingredient section of the label. So that's required even though the soy and wheat were consumed in the fermentation process, and they've tested Terrazyme and no soy or gluten was detected. So they're committed to the compliance, transparency. They'll update labels if anything ever changes with the regulations or anything like that. I know quite a few people who have celiac and can still take the Terrazyme because the wheat is no longer in the product. It's kind of like kombucha. Some of the things you see in the final product, or some of the things that were used to make the final product, do not exist in the final product. So just for people who are concerned about that. I want to talk about our gut health, because that's another huge issue nowadays, right? Gut health is definitely a trigger word. Everybody hears about it because the gut plays such a vital role in basically our overall health and well-being. And it's vital in everything from our weight and our immune function to our mental wellness. So I know it's hard to believe sometimes, if you have a really bad gut, it's going to display in your mental capacities. It's going to affect the way you think. So everything is very related in the human body. And that's what we're learning more and more as we make advancements in science. Everything is very interrelated. So what damages our gut health? Well, obviously, unhealthy diet. An unhealthy diet may damage it because there's glyphosates in a bunch of our food. That's that weird pesticide that Roundup created, right? Or we have GMOs in a lot of our foods. Or some of the foods might have other contaminants. It might have E. coli or what's the other one? Salmonella. Those are different things, bacterias and things that we find in our foods. So sometimes those go in there and they attack our gut. That's what they do, right? Antibiotics will attack our gut. Lack of regular activity, being physical, getting up the heart rate and stuff like that. All of that attacks our gut. And even poor sleep habits and stress. Stress releases cortisol, also attacks our gut. Lucky gut, right? It gets to be attacked from all sides. So we want to find ways to make that better. I'm going to run into the chat really quick because I saw a couple people chat in. Okay, yeah, I'll get you the celiac information on that. And yes, several people, including the person that signed me up for doTERRA, and not just her, but several people have told me that they have seen plantar fasciitis go away simply from the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is odd because who would think a vitamin would have anything to do with your feet, right? But it is, because it's changing your body at a very large level. So some of the things that we like with doTERRA are, we talked about the Terrazyme, we got the PB Assist. So the PB Assist is our probiotic, and it has prebiotic in it as well. And the PB Assist Junior is designed for children or people who just can't swallow more pills, right? Don't want to swallow more pills, get the Junior. To me, it tastes like pixie sticks. I was tempted, if I had enough money, I would pass this out at Halloween, because every kid could use some PB Assist Junior on Halloween because they're eating all that candy, right? And this would just look like another candy. It is an absolutely amazing product. So you're trying either or both of those, definitely be something to help your gut, especially if you're dealing with major gut issues. If your bowel movements are not regular, if you feel cramping and stuff like that, give the PB Assist a try. Maybe that will solve your problems along with that Lifelong Vitality Pack. Then we have different nutrition and supplements that go along with the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And they, some of them might appeal to you, some of them won't. It depends on your personal needs, right? So here's some of the basic supplements. I'm going to talk about each of these so you can figure out which ones would be yours. Now, most of these supplements you can get at a discount when you buy your Lifelong Vitality Pack. And this is one of them, our Deep Blue Polyphenol. I love this one. I used to be a gymnast, so I have definitely some muscle issues, joint issues, that because of the damage I've done over time. So for me, this is definitely one I've added. And the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, when you buy it with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, is only $20 instead of the $60 wholesale we normally pay. And it is something we get when we are on the Loyalty Rewards program with doTERRA. So we save a bunch of money when we're on that program. We get the Lifelong Vitality Pack cheap, and then we get to add on these other supplements that we might need. So Deep Blue Polyphenols have a lot of ingredients, and they're herbs, actually. This is not an oil-based thing. This is herbs that help support your muscle and joint comfort and function, soothes occasional aches and discomfort. It can be used along with the Deep Blue Rub, which has got a lot of our oils in it, right? So you've all seen the Deep Blue Rub or the Deep Blue Oil. And you can take this daily. I take 2 of these, and it's one of the first things I take in the daytime to help with my muscular and joint issues. So that is one of our absolute favorites. It does also, in conjunction with like turmeric, it can be really good for inflammation. Another one we have, of course, the new Adaptive. A lot of people are trying this one nowadays, right? Calms and promotes positive feelings. And who doesn't need this nowadays? Current state of the countries right now, the world actually, this is a great choice. And it has a neurotransmitter GABA in it, which is good for anxious and sad feelings. So I'll keep that compliant as much as possible. So this is a calming supplement. And we also have an oil and a rollerball that go along with it if you want the trifecta of all 3 of them. It supports a healthy mood, improves your state of mind. It encourages relaxation and mental well-being, supports cognitive function and emotional balance. So it's one of our balancing blends, right? And it helps when acclimating to new surroundings and adapting to stressful situations. A lot of people like this one at night. Combines really well with like Serenity. If you use the Serenity capsules, soft gels as well, you can use those at night, or you can combine it with one of the oils, again, for use a lot of times at night. But you can take these all day long. They are not going to be, that's what I'm looking for. They won't cause drowsiness. That's not what they do, right? They help you calm down, but not being sedating. So try those 2 together if you're really struggling with maybe some sleep, or if you're struggling with a lot of anxious feelings in today's world. You can try those. Turmeric capsules. One of my favorites. I actually take this every single day, so does my husband, because inflammation is a big problem nowadays. One of the things we've realized with the food that we're eating and the food situation, because the food is not so pure, is that we're all building up inflammation in our body. And this is our unhealthy inflammation. This isn't the inflammation like I stub my toe and all the blood rushes there to help heal it, right? This is inflammation now that is developing all over your body, maybe even in your brain. You can get inflammation in your brain. And I went to a functional medicine doctor, and she said I had a lot of inflammation. So I started using the turmeric. to fight that. It helps with the free radicals that are in your body to protect the body from oxidative damage. It combines the complementary benefits of both the turmeric essential oil and the joint support of the curcuminoids of the turmeric extract in kind of like a unique, convenient delivery system. So it's a dual chamber capsule. It's got oil and herb together in it. And that's different than, let's say, normally when you take like curcumin or something like that, you're told when you take turmeric that you need to take black pepper with it, and you should be eating some healthy fat with it to help it absorb. doTERRA's gotten around that issue and been able to make it in the soft gel so that it's super absorbable for the human body. You enjoy the absorbability of this one, and that is one that is on my daily regimen. I'm again checking the chat really quick. Yeah, and oh yeah, turmeric along with deep blue polyphenols, really good for intense inflammation that might be causing you a lot of discomfort. Super extreme head tension. Somebody here mentioned a toothache. If you want to temporarily relieve some of that and you want to get rid of the inflammation, you have to remember what causes inflammation and what inflammation does to us. If you're trying to get rid of inflammation, deep blue, turmeric, some of the other supplements and even oils will be really good at helping to reduce the inflammation. And then, oh yeah, Faith uses Adaptive in her mask and her diffuser. That's a good use of it, right? And the calming supplement, so that would be the Adaptive or maybe even the Serenity. Really helps a lot of people with stress. So don't be afraid to try these things. And remember, if you're not getting results from something and you've been taking it for a few months, then it's not for you. Then move on to something else, because there are multiple ways to attack different problems. So as long as we get our basic oils and our basic supplements in, then we can start adding to or subtracting from that if something's not working for us, because we're all going to be totally different. A lot of people love the Serenity. This is one I'm not a big fan of because I don't really like the smell of lavender, but a lot of people really like Serenity, and they'll use the oil or they'll use the soft gels. So I don't know if you realize, but they came out with soft gels quite some time ago to add to our Serenity program. Some people will use both the oils and the soft gels at night. Really good for that, for sleeplessness. If you're struggling with that, you're trying to get healthy relaxation and sleep. Again, we're talking again, restful sleep. This is different than sleep. We know the difference, right? We've had restful sleep and we have sleep. We want restful sleep. We want to have good quality of sleep. We want to fall asleep, timely. What we're supposed to do as human beings is we should be falling asleep within 10 minutes. And I'm going to venture a guess and say at least half of us aren't. But we're supposed to, ideally. You can use this to calm the nervous system. You can use it during the day. It's not just a nighttime thing. You can use it during the day to combat stress, nervous issues. And you can use it even, like you can take one in the morning, one at night, if that works for your system and helps you stay on a really good schedule of when you're feeling relaxed and calm. Because that's a lot of our problems that we have is just our inability to relax, our inability to calm down, our inability to just be, right? You can add Adaptive to this, and you can even add Copaiba to this. So you can take a Serenity capsule along with a Copaiba capsule. Some people do that. You can try it with Adaptive. You can take all three if that's what you need to make you fall asleep properly at night. So play around with it and figure out what works for you, because we're all going to have our different recipes and different things that work for each of us. So we would not be complete if we didn't talk about one of our very special supplements, the phytoestrogen and bone nutrient. This is actually one I'm going to give to my daughters. They struggle a lot with severe head tension, and I think this might help them. I take this each and every day, and I've noticed a huge difference since I started taking it. It really helps to balance and support the normal hormone levels. So how many of you guys hear about hormone levels being out of whack in high school kids and what the results of that are? Yep, we're hearing it all the time. Barbara knows because she works in a school. I mean, you get those kids and hormone levels can be really out of whack, and it's resulting in them being so off that, we have a high suicide rate, and we have people struggling in school and aggressive behavior and stuff. That's all hormone levels. We need to get our hormone levels in check, and they're being thrown off balance all the time by the environment around us. So this is a really good one that women can use, especially because women tend to be hormonal than men. I think we all know that. And we want to support that healthy balance. We also want to support healthy bones, our heart, our breast tissue, and other broad body structures and functions as women, right? It contains a flaxseed extract, which is amazing for helping in managing estrogen metabolism, and is formulated with a standardized pomegranate extract, which provides powerful antioxidant support. So, some of the things I have noticed with this and some of the things I've learned about this supplement that I think is really absolutely amazing is that when you're talking about estrogen, okay, for instance, so we have phytoestrogen, right? When we're talking about too much estrogen, you might be talking about cysts or fibroids. A lot of times that's going to be in younger people, right? And that's like too much estrogen. And then as we get older, we're talking about postmenopause, and now we don't have enough estrogen, right? All we want to do in both those situations is we want to balance our estrogen. So it can work both ways for younger people and for older people to help balance the estrogen level. And then we have Mito 2 Max. So Mito 2 Max is one that I use regularly. And I use it mostly because I don't like to be tired. I don't like daytime fatigue at all. And so Mito 2 Max has a lot of ingredients in it that really help with the healthy cellular energy production. And if my cells are energized, I find that I'm energized. It gives more stamina, more mental energy, and really efficient use of oxygen. Another thing we don't think about a lot of times, are we efficiently using the oxygen that we intake? Sometimes we can't because it's all done at a body, cellular level, and we can't really control those a lot, or we think we can't, right? So this supports the optimal mitochondrial function, aerobic capacity, and stamina without using any stimulants. So there's no caffeine. There's not even like all those other weird stimulants that you see out there. None of those are in this. It is using all natural whole food sources to help your cells to be stimulated so you can be stimulated. It is a healthy long-term alternative to those caffeinated drinks, and it's a supplement for increased energy and vitality. Let me check my chat again because you're asking some questions or making some statements. Yep. Okay, so let's see. Okay, 2 and 7, 2, 3, 4. Inflammation issues, yeah. So, and you can take a lot of turmeric. So if you're fighting inflammation, if inflammation is a really big issue, or you're dealing with something that is quite obviously inflamed, and like somebody mentioned earlier, toothache, yes, that's inflammation, right? If you're having severe head tension, that's probably inflammation. A lot of times that's just inflammation, right? If you're dealing with a sore back, it might be the inflammation. And if that's all it is, then take your turmeric and take your turmeric with something else. And don't be afraid to take more. There are some people who, when they have severe head tension, take 3 or 4 turmeric. They might take it with some copaiba, right? And that works wonderfully for them. So don't be afraid to take more. It's not like you're going to overdose on turmeric, right? Yes, it is available in Canada. Now, the way this is available in Canada is you have to buy it through the U.S. warehouse. Everybody who has a Canadian doTERRA account can purchase from the U.S. warehouse. It'll be sent directly from Utah to you. They take care of everything. They take care of clearing it through customs. And normally it takes about 6 or 7 days to get from their U.S. warehouse all the way to Ontario, let's say. So you can order it. What you do is go into your order and you create a new LRP, Loyalty Rewards order, and then you hit the American flag, and that order will be coming from the US. And if you don't want to further order from there, you can delete that template and continue to order most of your stuff from Canada. But yes, a lot of these supplements are going to be available only in the US. And it's not doTERRA's fault, I'll say right now. It's Health Canada. Health Canada is still in the process of reviewing these. It takes them a long time to go through the review process. And once they get through the review process, then they will be available in Canada. Like now you have the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you have the Terrazyme. I think you had the Deep Blue Polyphenols, but then they were out of stock for a while. So hopefully those will be coming back too. And then I love Mito 2 Max, yes. Yes, and again, the Mito 2 Max is another one that you might not do well with to take at night, because even though it doesn't have synthetic stimulants, it still is stimulating. So by then we're using our more calming things. So you might find that you don't want to take it too late in the day. It's one of the things I take first thing in the morning. Sometimes I'll take one when I wake up. And if I feel like I might be getting a little bit drained, I'll take another one shortly after lunch. And then that's it on the Mito 2 Max. So sometimes I'll take 2 a day. Sometimes I only take 1, but I do take 1 every morning when I wake up. It's quite a lift. Between that and the cinnamon oil that I take in my tea, I really get going kind of at a running start. I love to start my day that way. One of the other complexes we have now, I don't use this one. I haven't had a need to use it yet. So other people might know more about it, but it is our Zentroken complex. And it's for healthy cleansing and filtering functions of your liver, kidneys, colon, lungs, and skin. This is probably one I'm going to start my husband on because he's struggling right now with, he's just diagnosed with kind of the starting stages of cirrhosis of the liver. So I'm going to get him on this to support his liver. And it supports normal self-detoxification functions of your cleansing organs. So, you know, we have organs in the body. A lot of those are meant to cleanse our bodies. We don't necessarily have to go on a full-on cleanse. A lot of times we can just add these things instead of doing a full-on cleanse, because anybody who's done a cleanse, I didn't think it was fun. I hate depriving my body of food. I get really, really tired whenever I'm on some kind of cleanse and it says, you know, don't eat any food for a certain number of hours. I'm like, oh no, I can't do that because I get tired. I need this. I need my energy. My food is my energy, right? So when you are using this, you can take 2 capsules daily, one with your morning and evening meals, ideally. This one, people don't seem to have a problem with taking this later in the day. It doesn't mean to keep them up at night, but it is really good for detoxifying those organs of the body. And they can be enhanced by taking the Zendocrine blend, which is an essential oil blend, right? Or even the soft gels, which is really the blend, but in a soft gel format for people who like taking the pills and don't like taking the oils. Okay, so different ways you can use this with those, because this is not the oil. This is a complex. Even though it has the same name, it does not have the same ingredients as the oil or the soft gels has. Let me check my chat again real quick here. Okay, your doctor said 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. is fine on the turmeric. Yeah, that makes sense. Anybody know the answer to this? And answer if you know, because I don't know the answer. Will the Zendocrine complex soft gels cause diarrhea? Anybody have any experience with using that product? If that's you, Bonnie, I'll test it on my husband and let you know. I can't read who this is.
No, that's not from me.
Oh, it's from Barb. Okay, Barb, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll get started on that. Okay?
Whenever is fine. I was just curious, as I thought maybe I'd buy some, and I thought if it causes that, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. And somebody mentioned Prop 65 warning. Okay, let me explain that. I actually did research on this because the first time I saw it on my invoices, they said Prop 65, you know, the state of California has determined this is unhealthy for you. So being in California, I know, oh, that's going to affect me because I'm in California. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's a proposition. It's a California proposition. It affects everybody the same way. But here in California, they label everything. Like I cannot go to a store without seeing that. Every sign has to say that, because every sign, every place I go to has ingredients that can cause cancer, has been known to cause cancer, right? The reason it's in some of the doTERRA soft gels is because they contain poulagone. Poulagone in its synthetic form is a cancer-causing agent. doTERRA has it in its natural form. So if you want to look up what poulagone is, and you can see it on the ingredients, it's P-U-L-E-G-O-N-E, I believe. But you can do some research on it. And so I asked about that one. And that's why, because when they label things, if it's been labeled, if it's been determined that it's cancer causing, even in its synthetic form, and even though our natural form is different than synthetic, the government doesn't see it that way. They lump them together. Like you cannot tell if somebody sells you lavender oil, you have no idea, unless you know the company, if it came from the lavender plant or if it was synthetically produced in a lab, because at a molecular level, they look identical as far as the government is concerned, but they don't act identical in the human body, because our body is definitely more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more precise. It can detect those differences between synthetics and naturals. So hopefully
just ask my daughter. She'll tell you if the lavender's real or not.
Yeah, she can handle fake lavender, right?
Yep, she can handle all the fake lavender, but pure stuff kills her.
Yep. So, yes, and if you're doing a cleanse, always recognize that, yeah, if you're doing a cleanse, you might see some differences in your bowel movements and stuff like that for short term. Make sure it's not long term, but you might see some differences because your body is purging a bunch of crap. I just realized what I was going to say.
Literally.
Correct, right? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Yarrow Pom. So something I learned when I was doing this, and I learned more about Yarrow Pom. So I don't know who's actually using the supplements from the Yarrow Pom. Like we're using the stuff. Definitely love that. Love the body serum, right? But they also have these pills. So who's using Yarrow Pom pills?
Bonnie, I am.
Good for
Every
you.
day, 2 a day.
I started using them because I did more research on them. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I want to be beautiful too. So I started using them. There are other reasons to use them too. So it improves skin firmness and reduces skin imperfections. That was a slam dunk for me. I'm like, yeah, skin firmness. I'm definitely looking for that. At 56 years old, things are starting to firm as they used to be, right? And skin imperfections, yeah, I got some of those. And then illuminates and brightens your complexion. It provides the powerful antioxidant support we're looking for, right? Good cellular health, supports healthy metabolic function, and helps maintain skin's youthful appearance by combating oxidative stress. That's not it, guys. Yaropalm actually does more. So these capsules actually have the ability to affect your immune system.
Yep.
So it doesn't say that here, and I don't even know if it says it on doTERRA's stuff, but people have been analyzed the ingredients, and those are shown to improve your immune system. So there's another reason to take that. So if you don't want to be just beautiful on the outside, then you figure it's good for your immune system, which makes you beautiful on the inside, right?
I have lupus, and so that's why I started taking them. I take it twice a day, in the afternoon and then at night before I go to bed. And my skin is so soft. And that's one of the things I noticed, and it's helped with the elasticity. I've lost all this weight, and I need help with the elasticity of my skin.
Yeah, so it seems like it would be a really good one to add to any weight loss program, because, you know, when you lose weight, and even with me, I've only lost, you know, as I've gotten older, I've basically lost muscle. I've never been overweight, but I'm losing muscle as I get older. And when you lose muscle, same thing happens. You got the skin elasticity, you've got loose skin, and none of us likes that loose skin, right? It's not the most attractive thing we want, right? So if you're on a weight loss program of any sort, you should be looking for ways to improve your elasticity as you're going through that process, because it'll make it so much easier for you to look your best at the other end. So yeah, Yaropalm, yay, we love the Yaropalm. Okay, so then we have our sample daily schedule. So everybody's schedule is going to look different, and we'll tweak this a little bit depending what works for you and what you need and what your body needs. So they recommend on this one, they say you start with turmeric because you want to start with the anti-inflammation. Get the inflammation down. Take your PB Assist, that'll help you get your stomach going a little bit, right? Because this is early in the morning. Then with your breakfast, that's when you're going to start taking your pills. So at breakfast, you're going to start taking your LLV. You may take your Terrazyme to help with digestion, especially if digestion, gut issues is one of your issues. And you may take some Adaptive to help with stress or tension, right? At lunchtime, you're going to finish up by taking the other half of the LLV. So you're going to take 2 of each, breakfast, and then 2 of each at lunch, let's say. Again, a Terrazyme should be taken at every meal, ideally, to help you break down the food. And then you might take your Mito2 Max. So for me, I take my Mito2 Max earlier. I take it with breakfast. I may take a second one at lunch. I don't wait till lunch to get my extra energy. I like to hit the ground running, right? And then at night, you might take like the Yaropalm Complex. It's a good one you can take at night. And it's easier to remember that way. Sometimes you put these things on your night table, right? And then you've got maybe Copaiba and your Serenity, which will help a lot with falling asleep properly. So you can tweak it however you want. You can add or subtract things. This is just a portion of those. So if you find that you're taking some of the other supplements, like I take my phytoestrogen, I actually take it in the morning. I take my phytoestrogen, my bone supplement in the morning, and I don't take my LLV until lunchtime. That's the first time I take my LLV, because I don't like to take my bone supplement at the same time I take the LLV, because I'm worried about certain vitamins affecting the nutrients that are in bone nutrient, because sometimes the calcium will interfere with other things. So I take those away from everything else. Whoops. And let's see what else we got here. So here's our sample wellness box. So let's say you're doing doTERRA and you're like, okay, so how can I get this cheap? Well, first be a member, right? That's how we get them cheap. And we know it's 60 PV, it's $79.50, kind of expensive. That's just that lifelong vitality pack. But again, it is what is going to change your life. And if you're on the loyalty rewards program and you've been on it for a while, then you're actually getting back $20 on this pack approximately. Am I right? Yeah, 20, something like that. $18 that you're getting back because you're on the loyalty rewards program, and you may be getting other benefits from different specials that doTERRA has throughout the year. And when you buy your lifelong vitality pack, this is where you really save, because on the supplements that you can buy with it, you can buy up to 3 supplements cheaper when you get the pack. One of them is a Terrazyme, the PB Assist, the Mito2 Max is one, even the Deeply Polyphenols. Instead of paying $60 wholesale, when you buy it with your lifelong vitality pack, you get it for $20 wholesale. So a really, really big difference. And same with these other ones. Terrazyme, PB Assist, I believe what are they, about $35 wholesale normally?
Yeah, and here's the kicker. They'll let you buy 3 of the same thing.
Yeah, usually. Right now they won't let me do that with the polyphenols.
Oh, that's right.
But usually, yes, you can buy 3 of the same thing. So if you find that you're using Lifelong Vitality Pack and you need extra of something like turmeric, if it was one of the ones I could get, because I don't think it is, but if it was one, I'd be buying like a ton of turmeric because, you know, I use a lot of turmeric. And my dog uses the turmeric. I give my dog the turmeric every morning too. But, you know, some of the ones, so what mine looks like usually is Lifelong Vitality Pack, Deep Blue Polyphenol, PV Assist, and Mito 2 Max. Those are the ones that I buy when I buy my Lifelong Vitality Pack. And then I buy a couple of my turmeric, and I might buy a lemon oil because I use a lot of that stuff. And then I'm getting my free oil of the month, and I'm getting my free product credits. So I get a lot of extras from that. And you know what? I am worth $100 and something a month because I only have one life to live, and I'm well over halfway through it. So I really want to enjoy these final decades of my life, and I want to be healthy. And I see people, you know, just 10 years older than me, or even my own age, and they're struggling and they're out of shape. And I just feel so sorry for them. I remember Bonnie, when I first met Bonnie, she was in and out of the hospital all the time with all kinds of problems, with the lupus, with other complications. She's had the weirdest disorders that I've ever heard of. And if you ever hear her story, I mean, she can go on and on because she's had like everything. She knows the hospital in and out. She signed up some people at the hospital. I mean, it's just been a whirlwind with Bonnie. But seeing her go from where she was to where she is today, it's just phenomenal. So anybody can do it. No matter how unhealthy you are, no matter what's going on in your life, you can turn it around. And I don't want to end up like that. I'm going to prevent that. I already turned around a big portion of, you know, what I was struggling with, and I don't ever want to go there again. So nutrition and supplements are going to be huge for me. So here's the things we can at discounts when we buy the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I'm sorry the slide is so blurry. I apologize for that. But basically, you can get the kids pack. That's the IQ Mega and the A to Z chewables. I give that to my dog because I'm worried about the adult dosage because he's only an 80-pound dog. So I give him the kids stuff. And so I do get that occasionally for him. And then I usually get the PV Assist and the Deep Blue Polyphenols and the Mito 2 Max. For my husband, I'm going to give him the Terrazyme, and I'm going to get him started on the Zenderpin, it looks like. But you can also get extras. Like I have gone through times, like right now, he went to the doctor and they said he needed more of the of his omega-3s. So we could buy an extra XE Omega. I got an extra one for just $20 when I bought him his Lifelong Vitality Pack. So that way he can double up on the dosage of that. Because there are times when you actually need more of that for specific conditions. So your doctor will tell you when that is. And then we'll finish up with just a little brief kind of building your pipeline with doTERRA. So if you want to stay for that, great. It's a really quick presentation, maybe less than 10 minutes. So you know, 3 types of people. We have people that just want to live the wellness lifestyle. They want to be healthy. They want to be healthy at any stage in their life. They want to be healthy young people. They want to be healthy old people, right? And that's one type of person. Then we have the other person, and they want to be healthy, but they also want to share because they can't afford to buy all these products, and they want to try a bunch of different stuff. They're the ones that went to doTERRA and they said, oh my gosh, they have this and they have this. I want to try this and that cinnamon that Ginny puts in her water sounds really, really good. And it's helping her, you know, not eating her sweets. And it's helping with blood sugar levels. And I hear this other person is using this, and that's really wonderful, but you can't afford to buy it all, right? So you share, and that gets your products paid for. Then you've got this other person, and that's some of us overachievers out here, Barbara and Bonnie and Selena and a few others of us, and we are building an income. We are making an impact in people's lives. We're doing this as a full-on business because we want to make money at this business while helping other people. It's a really good, feel-good business to be in. So then where are you? Are you in your traditional job? You're trading hours for dollars. You have a limit on advancements and earnings. You have a limited time freedom, and you're building someone else's dream. Or if you're in authentic direct sales like doTERRA is, you have a true residual income. You have no limits on your advancements or your earnings. Your freedom is to choose your own schedule. If you want to take off a week or two, go ahead. And you're building your own dreams. And that's really the big thing, building your own dreams. And then you wonder, why doTERRA? There's so many different companies you could go and be a part of, right? Well, doTERRA is most tested and most trusted out of all the companies out there. They just take you right at the top there. They have over 8.5 million customers, actually over 9 million now from the numbers I've seen. They've been used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. And we have one of the doctors' hospitals, Johns Hopkins, came out and spoke at convention. Bonnie was there, she saw that. It was really great to have their input as medical professionals. doTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world. So everybody out there is just trying to copy them, right? Their growth rate has been similar to Apple. They're a $1 billion company in the first 7 years of business. They have a really high retention rate of 65%. And they create partnerships with growers all around the world to get you the best oils. Because, if you get an oil and it's substandard oil, it's not going to do what you want it to do. And these are very powerful. I like that I can take 1 drop of lemon and it does something very observable, right? That it is so strong. Any of these oils, I can use 1 drop or 2 drops, and that solves my problems. I don't have to take 10 drops or 20 drops. I love that they're privately owned and that they're debt free. And that means debt free. They didn't even borrow money to build these buildings that they built. I mean, it's amazing. Everything is out of pocket. They do not want to go into debt because that protects people who are building with doTERRA. If you build a residual income, you don't want that company to all of a sudden disappear. That would be the worst thing. So then, we discuss, are you hauling buckets or are you building a pipeline? So there's a great story of this man. He hauled buckets of water for a living. And every day he hauled the water, from the nearest water source to his village miles away. And because everybody needed water. So he always sold out, right? And if he wanted to make more money, what would he do? He had to haul more buckets, right? It's simple. And after many years, he grew weary of hauling buckets. And inspiration came to him and he said, well, wait a minute. If I use my spare time to build this pipeline to bring water to the village, then I don't have to haul buckets anymore. So he worked for years building this pipeline. And after a few years, he had finished his pipeline and he turned on the spigot and everything changed for him. Because he had now created an unlimited supply of water for his village and a financial pipeline that continued to provide him with abundance for years to come. He always had income, right? And so are you hauling buckets or building a pipeline? So you can create a different story for yourself and many others. With doTERRA, you can achieve financial freedom as you share, the simple, safe, empowering natural solutions with the people you care about. You can build your own pipeline, which is going to touch so many lives. Entire regions and cultures are impacted, because of the work that you do. And then you can decide when you want to start. You can dedicate your time and you can get started getting to that point where you're going to have that time freedom. You can choose your path, where you want to be. If you want to just get your products paid for, spend a few hours a week on doTERRA. If you want to supplement your income, you're going to spend a lot more time doing doTERRA, really getting it out there and sharing with people. If you want to replace your income, then you have to step it up to a job because that's what it is. It's your job, which means you have to spend time, doing your job, just like I'm doing here. When I do these things, a lot of this stuff is provided by doTERRA and by our uplines in doTERRA, which is phenomenal. I didn't have to create this PowerPoint. This was created for me. I simply am sharing it with you guys. And that makes it really easy for me because now I can spend my time actually reaching people, sampling people, and helping people use the products they've got so that they can see the benefits of the oils. And how do you make money in this business? You sample, you teach like I'm doing now. We enroll people who also want to teach or they just want to use, right? And then we support them wherever they are. If they're a product user, if they're a product sharer, or if they also want to be like us and build a business. We're here for them every step along the way so they can have whatever they desire for their outcome. And then, my testimony for myself is, residual income means that, I'm 56 years old. I'm pretty worried that, at some point I'm not going to be able to work. I need a residual income because I still want to have income and I don't want to end up in some nursing home somewhere. I want to be taken care of as I get older and in my old age. And so residual income means a huge amount to me. And again, you can spend anywhere from 3 to 30 plus hours, and the amount of time you spend is going to determine your outcome. So if you love the oils or the products or the health, nutrition, if you care about people, and if you can follow the system that is provided to you by your uplines, because I know a lot of you people are also here from other teams, you follow their systems and get things done because that's what's going to get you to your goal. So, if you have identified who you are, if you want to share or build with doTERRA, and you're not already with doTERRA, let me know and we'll follow up with you. Or if somebody sent you here, go back to that person. I do have a Business Made Easy presentation that I do every 2 weeks. So if you want to learn more about the business in depth and the compensation plans, you understand how do you get paid and everything with doTERRA. And then if you are interested in building this as a business, then sign up for the daily mentor calls. They are free. Just sign up at dailymentorcalls.com and you can listen to them whenever you want. I listen to them when I'm sitting down at the pool. I listen to them when I am just laying on my bed. I listen to them in my, like, we'll call it my downtime. So I can learn more about how to share doTERRA properly with other people. So thank you so much for coming to this presentation. Let's see if there's any questions before I go. Any questions from you guys here? Any comments?
No.
Let me check my chat again. So everybody, let's see. Oh, on the kids supplements, you can use them at any age. Usually something like that, you start around age 2, but if your doctor says it's okay, you can use them, you know, when they're younger. Otherwise, I recommend usually about 2 on the kids supplements. And like I said, I use them with my pets. So that's always wonderful. Let me see, was there anything else I needed to answer here? Nope, nothing here. So any other questions from you guys?
Thank you for an informative presentation. I liked it.
And again, I want to urge you, if you want to learn more about the whole supplementation and hear more of Bonnie's story, go Wednesday to Stephanie's presentation, because Bonnie, you're talking there, right? You're going to be.
That's correct. I'm giving a very similar presentation to this, but just a little bit different.
Yeah, but a little bit more nuanced to her own experience, and she'll tell you more about her own personal experiences, which will be great. So, you know, you got to keep learning. And if you're already building with doTERRA, listen to these things from different people, listen to them over and over again, internalize it, make it make sense in your own brain so that you can share it with others. Because the best way we can share is to keep learning so that we have proper information to share with others, right?
Yeah,
So,
and Selena asked a question. She asked if there was a link to Stephanie's event, and there is in both Build Freedom and Free to Share if you're in those Facebook groups. And if you're not, we can get you into those groups. It's being updated because they forgot that it was 4th of July week, because we teach that continuing ed on Wednesday and the same class is repeated on Saturday. And since Saturday was the 4th of July, they had decided to skip this week. So we're going to do this. We're going to do the supplements class next week. But you can download a similar presentation, not as detailed as Jen's. Jenny's presentation today was excellent. Jenny, this was an excellent presentation. But there's also a notes handout, so you can kind of look at all the supplements that Jenny went over tonight. You can download that handout, and you'll have those notes.
And I'll be posting this video again on the Certified Pure Essential Oils page that I have. You guys should all be hopefully going to that, because that's where you're going to watch any videos you might have missed. Again, I'm doing this every Thursday. My Intro to Oils class Saturday is canceled because I also realized it was 4th of July and said, oh, wait a minute, I have to cancel that because nobody wants to come on 4th of July. I hope you guys are doing something wonderful for 4th of July. I know it's probably a really small event given current conditions and everything like that, but try to get outside and try to do something fun with the people that you can be around, or all just stand awkwardly 6 feet apart. So I noticed something really funny. I was talking to my neighbor. We were standing 6 feet apart from each other. Do you know how weird that feels? We usually talk a lot closer to people. So that was really surprising the way I felt. I felt very uncomfortable. I was like, oh my gosh, we usually are more like 3 feet apart when we talk to somebody, you know, our friends and our neighbors. So that was a really weird feeling. So we're all feeling that. And I don't want that to be the new norm. I don't want us as a
Southerners are ignoring the 6-foot rule, just so everybody knows. We're still hugging each other, and, you know, we're still having pig pickings and barbecues.
I have a lot of confidence in the oils. I think a healthy human being will do fine if they're exposed to viruses. I think the big key here is just being healthy. You know, being our very best, because that's what's
I've been popping 2 On Guards a day, one in the morning and one after my dinner, and I have so far so good. I haven't been sick since January.
We know that a lot of the oils are wonderful for your immune system. So, you know, just using all of these different things, using the supplements, and of course, staying away from too much sugar, you know, the tendency sometimes to have sugar. Of course, the ice cream man has not been around. So I guess we're going to get less sugar this year, right? Because he's not out there. So anyway, I'll see you next week. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about next week? I can't find my files. I don't remember what it was next week. Does anybody remember?
No. What did you just say? I was
doing something. We're doing another class again next week. So we're on week 2 right now. Next week will be week 3. We have 8 weeks, you know, total. and then you'll get your certification. And if you have any questions about this presentation, let me know. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.